Tubers, tubettes, crazy people. I'm in the winter of my life, and I realize and acknowledge I have a bunch of years behind me and not quite so many in front of me. And it gives me pause, and I think, what am I going to do if I become incapacitated or unable to take care of myself? Do I just become a burden upon my kids, my wife? Do I have to travel back to America and hope for the best in some sort of assisted living facility there? What would that cost? What kind of quality, what kind of dignity would I be able to retain? Or would I just become a number? And why isn't there something here in the Philippines that I can avail myself of? Well, 10 months ago, I answered that question. And it was with an encounter that I had with a gentleman that's addressing this very issue. And I just want to take some time and share it with you right now. All right, here comes my conversation with Chris. All righty, so I'm here with my buddy Chris. Chris, thanks for coming on the channel.
Thank you, Paul.
And when did you and I first meet?
January of this year.
And now it's November.
Yes. Yeah.
And now we're on camera.
Yes, we are.
You were a visitor one time before. We just kind of talked about your life story and what brought you over. But what I learned about from Chris back in January was this project that he's been working on for
14 years.
14 short years.
Yeah.
How time flies when you're having fun. And when he first told me about it, I said, this is awesome. This is a great idea. This is something I could use. This is something I will do. And this is something that I think is of a great benefit and doesn't exist out here where we are. It exists other places.
Right.
And that is what?
We're going to do a retirement community where you can go from active living all the way through elder care, all the way through hospice. Just a guarantee of long-term continuum of care in a facility here in the Philippines.
Awesome. And where's it located?
We're in Santander, Cebu, here in the Philippines.
And as a reference point, for those of you in Dumaguete or thinking about Dumaguete, it's about a 20 to 25 minute ferry ride from Dumaguete to here. So I'm at a little hotel here in Santander with Chris, and May and I came over for the day, and we'll be spending the night, and we wanted to talk to Chris while we were here. And the reason that we didn't get into this back in January is you weren't ready. You weren't shovel ready at that point.
Sure.
You had gotten permits, you had gotten titles, you had gotten all that knucklehead stuff, but there were still all these little things you had to tie up.
Right.
Because you want to be able, if somebody expresses an interest in this, you want to be able to convey the fact that it's all free and clear, it's all legit. I've seen the titles, I've seen all the paperwork, you got bundles of it back there, and we've gone through it, and it just is what it is. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. It's a retirement community, but it's a little bit more than that.
Sure. So, I have family, mother, grandmother, wife, all in the nursing care industry, or have been. And you hear the horror stories. So I don't want to end up in an American nursing home, plain and simple.
Let me stop you there. Do you know, because I don't, the pricing of an American nursing home or care facility?
Right. So it runs the gamut. If you're in a government-ran nursing home, they're going to take pretty much any and all of your Social Security to pay for it. But you're looking at $3,000 at the basement.
Okay.
Per month.
Right. U.S. dollars.
U.S. dollars. And if you want to get into a private facility, where you're buying in at $250,000 just to come in and give them $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, it really depends. There's so much. It's hard to quantify, really. Yeah. Everybody's got a different way of pricing it out, but a good nursing home that's up at the upper scale, $9,000-$12,000.
So you can go from 3 to 12.
Right.
And that's the number.
Sure.
Unless you're in an institution that is government.
Right.
And my mother was in a private care, not a private care, but she was in a government run, and it was fine. It was clean. But it wasn't, it wasn't good. You know, we would go and see her, and we felt kind of helpless because my sister and I were in no position to pay the $3,000,
Right.
$4,000, $5,000 a month for her to have care, and so that's where she ended her days at many years ago. So, what are you doing to address that here in the Philippines?
So we are going to take the facility, we'll call it a condo, a house, a villa, depending on what somebody chooses, which model they choose. And we bring the nursing staff to them when they need it. We'll have doctors' offices. We will have doctors on staff. We're not a hospital, but we can provide regular nursing elder care.
Okay. Let's get into the condos themselves.
Sure.
All right. What styles? What sizes? Kind of give me a rundown of what that's
So
about.
right now we're gonna offer two condo sizes. One is roughly 840 square feet.
Okay.
One bedroom. It will have a small attached room on the exterior of the building. As you come in, off to the side will be a maid's quarters, or eventually will be your nursing quarters.
Okay.
As you know, if somebody comes in at 50 years old, of course they're not going to need it. That's just going to be an extra room for them.
Okay.
But as they age through the different stages of retirement, we'll be able to bring the assisted care to them. We'll be able to bring the full-time care, the memory care, and then hospice.
Okay.
You know, and they will never have to leave their unit. The unit is theirs from the time they sign the membership until they depart.
And what's the next level up? You have a 2-bedroom?
We do have a 2-bedroom. It is roughly 1,400 square feet, just a hair over 1,400 square feet.
Now, do you have a rendering of that?
We do.
All right, so why don't we put it in at this point in the video? All right, we'll sketch that in so you can get an idea of what it looks like. I think they're beautiful. And how many units total are you looking to do?
So we're definitely looking at 200
Okay.
units over time. But it'll be in phases. And as you've seen, the land is kind of laid out
Yep.
different, geographically in different little locations. So there'll be little islands on the larger scale piece of land that we own.
Okay.
So we'll do a phase here, we'll do a phase there, we'll do a phase there. But in grand total, I wouldn't want any more than 300 on that 60 plus acres,
Okay.
just for overcrowding's sake. But I think, truthfully, and we'll see it. You saw some of the land
Yes,
as
I
we
did. You were there today.
as we develop it. We'll see what we can play with, and I think realistically, we're looking at 240, 250 units total
Okay.
over that 60 acres.
Okay. And that build is starting next month.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you're doing a condo-tel.
Yes.
All right. Explain to the folks what a condo-tel is.
So the condotel is going to consist of 24 units. It's going to be 16 suites, basically a little bit bigger than this room you're sitting in. We're going to have 4 villas, 1-bedroom villas, and we're going to have 4 2-bedroom villas. Mm-hmm. And what it's for is for people to come over and test drive. If they want to know what it's like living here or whatnot, they can they can try out the area instead of renting a hotel like here or anywhere else. They can actually rent one of our places up there and just make sure that that's where they want to live. Now, conversely, this is a tourist area as well. So, if we can get tourists that come through and stay up there and then find out that, hey, I can live here or I can retire here, well, that just helps out with potential customers.
Got it. All right, so what you can do is you're going to have the condo-tel built first.
Yes.
That's starting ASAP.
Yep.
And then after that, you're going to start doing units as orders come in, or you're
Right.
just going to start doing units.
So we will start doing units, but the condotel is our focus right
Okay.
now. But we somehow have gotten other people interested through the vagaries of our last video. So we are going to do both at the same time.
Okay.
You know, the condotel sits up on the hillside, and then you go down the slope, and then on the next level field that we walked through today, we're going to put up the phase one of the long-term care club, the long-term continuum care area, and we will build those as people order them.
Got it.
And or purchase their membership. We'll build those. Right now we're quoting 12 to 18 months. Rainy seasons, shortages, the Philippines.
Yeah.
Realistically, we could have certain people's units done in 6 months.
Okay.
Just depends on the volume. But
All right. The number one question on everybody's mind: how much, and what is it, and is it legal, and do I own it, or what's going on, and can I will it, or can I sell it?
Right.
Let's address some of that. You talk about memberships. I was really confused.
Right,
And then
right.
I kind of equated it to my dad's golf membership
Sure.
at a club, and it has a certain date that it expires, and he's got to renew. So go over what a membership is, and then we'll get into some pricing.
Okay. So here in the Philippines, and a lot of places in the world, you can find this in Florida, you can find it in Costa Rica, Mexico. They're selling memberships, lifetime memberships, instead of actual titles to condos or whatnot. It's just so cumbersome in a place like the Philippines, not only to just buy a piece of property and transfer it. You know, you're looking at a lot of money in transfer taxes alone. Capital gains taxes, this, that, the other thing. That all gets paid for by the consumer at some point.
The buyer.
But, you know, if we do a membership, a service membership, like a country club, the taxing structure is different. And the inheritance structure, you don't have to go through an inheritance structure. This allows me, it allows me to offer these buildings for a lifetime for 30 to 40% cheaper than if I just sold you a condo.
Okay.
Just because of the government and then the flip. And then on the consumer side or the client side, once that client passes away and now he has a condotel sitting here in the Philippines with family members back in the United States, there's a real good chance that the family members in the United States are going to spend a lot of money and a lot of time to gain access or ownership. It can be just a logistical mess.
Understood. So, coming from a guy that's been looking at property and finding all the little rabbit holes that you can go down in that process. So far I've just said no on my little quest. So you buy a membership. It's good for what, 25 years?
So leases in the Philippines are 25 years, and then you can release for another 25 years. That's all you can do in the Philippines. But I don't look to lock people into 50-year type of situation. So we're offering a 25-year membership. It's prepaid rent is what it is. It's prepaid rent.
Okay.
It's a membership. It allows us to offer all of the services like the doctors and the amenities and everything else. It gives us that assurance to be able to offer those things. But let's say Paul at 50 moved in to the Philippines. Right. But you moved in when you're 50.
Is there an age limit on this?
It is 50 and above.
50 and above. Okay, there we go.
One person at least has to be 50 and above. So that's, Baby May is not 50.
Right.
Baby May would be more than welcome.
Okay.
But it is a retirement community. Somebody does need to be 50.
Okay.
And there need to be no children in tow.
Okay. Got it.
But
We'll
Paul,
get into that more later.
Right. Paul,
So I'm 50.
right, you're
I
50.
move in.
You move in. You pay your $129,000 for a one bedroom.
129 for a one bedroom.
And Paul lives to 75, and your lease comes up. Mm-hmm. At that point, we'll just convert it to a month-to-month, and you just live until you don't live anymore.
Got it.
There is no more. There are no re-signing of leases or this or that. The payment that you're paying is for the term of your life.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, I'm 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, doesn't matter. I want to buy or I'm going to purchase a membership.
Yep.
And on a one bedroom, it's $129,000.
Yes.
So I plunk down my $129,000 and I can live there for up to 25 years or until my demise.
Right.
Now, let's say I'm there 5 years and it's my turn to go to the happy hunting ground. We got 20 years I prepaid. Where the hell's my money?
So what we'll do is, because it's a 25-year plan, and now that's just, so after your 25 years, if you live till 90, you don't pay anything else.
Okay.
All right.
But what if I croak it?
But if you
for 5
croak,
years?
right, at 55,
Yeah.
we gave you that cushion for 25 years and we gave you that price. But we
Right.
do have a yearly rental rate that we will look at,
Okay.
and we'll calculate that. Paul, you stayed for 60 months. The rental rate's $550. For easy math, we'll just say that's $30,000.
Okay.
So you're 129. I owe you 99. I owe your estate 99.
Okay.
So I'll reoffer your unit
Uh-huh.
as the top priority.
Okay.
When that next membership sells, I write a check to your family members. There's no estate tax. There's nothing to encumber them.
Okay.
I just write them a check. It's in the contract. In the contract, you'll constantly update your next of kin with their contact info. You pass. I'm sure you've told them about it. They give me a call. I give them a call. I write them a check, and out the door it goes.
All right, that answers that. That's all in writing. What about the monthly? Is there any monthly fees or HOAs or any of that kind of stuff?
All right, so there are no
Talking about the money.
HOAs. There are monthly fees.
Okay.
We'll stay with a single
Yeah.
person in one bedroom. You come in and you're an active adult. You need no real medical attention at all.
Okay.
It's $300 a month.
Okay.
What you get for that is you get your breakfast
Okay.
every day. You get 10 kilos of laundry a week.
Okay.
You get a weekly house cleaning service.
Okay.
And on top of that, if you were to fall ill, fall down, or our medical staff would help and get you at least stabilized.
Okay.
Things like that. So
So if I broke my leg, you wouldn't set the leg. You're not staffed for that. But you would get me to a point where I could get on the ferry.
Sure.
And you'd transport me, I hope.
Right.
You would do it.
Yep.
And you would take me over to one of the local hospitals, and you would kind
That's
of
exactly it.
handle all the phone
Right.
calls and all that
Yep.
jazz. So I wouldn't have to, or my wife wouldn't have to. And there's no extra charge for getting me prepped.
Right.
Onto
So
the
right.
boat.
So let's go with a heart attack, right?
Okay.
So if you have a heart attack, we have staff on. People who have heart attacks die on the way to the hospital,
Right?
because or waiting for the ambulance to come.
Right? Especially out here.
Right. But at our location, with the nursing staff and the doctors on, we can stabilize somebody, get them ready for transport. And that, I have experience of that in Alaska with the airlines that we ran as an air ambulance operator. It's the stabilization. It can take 5 hours to transport you as long as you're stable. And it literally just takes a good paramedic, good nurse, good doctor crew, get you stable. We'll get you where you need to go.
Because you did that for many years. You're a pilot. And you
Yep.
flew that air ambulance.
Yep.
Okay. So, again, not his first rodeo. And your wife is a nurse.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And she does nothing but elder care. That
Okay.
is her specialty.
Well, I think we talked about that when we met you the first time. We touched on that a little bit. And so, do we have pricing and all that kind of
We
stuff?
do.
You showed me a video.
Yep.
Would it be cool if I shared that video?
Of course.
I'll put it. Okay, what I'll do, kids, is it's a 15-minute video, I think. I'll put it in the description box, and it shows a lot of nice pictures, shows the floor plans,
Yep. Shows
it shows
everything.
the pricing, all the disclosures, and so I'm just going to reiterate what we talked about here because we didn't cover everything. But I think the high points of it are this, is that it is a 50 and above community. It is going to be separate villas that people are going to have. They can choose a one bedroom or a two bedroom. The one bedroom is $129.
Yep.
And the two bedroom is $179. So we'll have a link that goes through all that. It'll show the floor plans, show the exterior, shows the ocean view that every villa has. And then there's other little things that we didn't even get close to, but there's going to be solar power on top of each villa.
Each villa will be self
contained
electrically.
Okay.
We will have electrical backup to the solar just because of the way that the electric works here.
Because you're going to have somebody, if you're dealing with this and you have a brownout and they're on oxygen,
right?
They need a constant source of power.
Sure.
Now it's not a nuisance because you can't get on your phone. Now it's life or death for some people. So they've got a machine that's working to keep them going.
Yeah. So each unit is priced the way it is just because of the expense of that solar system and the battery backup. The battery backup's really, but it'll be fully self-contained electrically.
And so what does it break down to, real quick, what does it break down to if you take the 100, let's call it the 129, we'll stick with the one bedroom, one guy, and we add in the $300, that's going to get you breakfast, it's going to get your laundry, it's going to, what else going to have? Breakfast, laundry, and room service once a week.
Well, yeah, so they'll do your linens, they'll clean your house, they'll do all those things. And then as you progress through like assisted living, all the meals are included. Of course, the price goes up.
Right.
As you go into full-time care, ambulation, things like that, the price goes up as far as the service fee. But we've kept it to where all of the service fees are below the average Social Security check for most Americans.
All right. So we're starting out. I'm fit. I'm healthy. I'm 50 years old. I'm still running and having fun. But I want to live in this community because my rent is all prepaid. I've got breakfast in the morning if I want it. If I get bored hanging around the casa, I just go down. I buzz down on my motorbike or my car, and I hop on the ferry and I can go to Dumaguete for the afternoon and go kick it there, come back here in the evening, and the ferry runs every day, and it's pretty much every hour on the hour. Real simple. When May and I came over here, we got there late. In fact, we thought we were on time, but we weren't. And we just hung out for a half hour and got on the boat and had a conversation with another couple, and boom, we were here. And it was like that the last time we came out. So what does it come down to total per month? If you take the 129 and divide that out by 25 years, add the 300. We'll keep it at the 300 for now.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the other numbers.
So the 25-year lease, if you utilize the 25-year lease and only the 25-year lease, the rent would be $430 a month. The services on top of that, which include a daily meal, so you're looking at $700.
Okay, so for $700 a month over the term, a person is living in a brand new villa, one bedroom, with companionship. You're going to have a pool. You're going to have an exercise room. You're going to have a store. You're going to have laundry service, a coffee shop, bar.
Full. If you don't want to leave the area, you won't have to. There'll be recreation. Whatever people. I know pickleball and things like that are popular.
Yeah, they are.
So those type of things. We've got plenty of property.
We got a lot of land. Let me tell you that because we were out there. We were walking some of it today. And a lot of it he's using as buffer. And I can tell you, I don't like to lie. I try to tell the truth every time possible, unless I make a mistake. But I can tell you the truth. We were out there today and I didn't hear anything. It was just quiet. One of the only places in the Philippines where there's not a lot of noise pollution. Now, that'll pick up, obviously, when people be in there. But as far as external noise, he set it up so that there's a buffer he's not going to build. He's got land that stretches out beyond the entire circumference of the place. He's got a guard shack up there. People are going to be checked when they come in. And you're going to be a little bit picky as to who buys there, too.
We are.
So you
We
got
are
the
going to have
a-hole clause.
Yep, a-hole clause. You know, if you're an a-hole, don't bother. We want to have a nice community. We want to have fun. We want to be nice to each other. We want to enjoy our retirement.
Yep.
I mean, so if you're a cool person and you're looking for a place where, you know, we're not selling condos. We're selling services. This is a membership. It's a service. It is an insurance clause. I mean, as long as you pay that membership and you keep your services up to date, we're going to take care of you. No matter what it is, we're going to take care of you. Now, we're not a cancer club. We're not.
Nope.
We're not. You know, we are a long-term elder care club. But if you do need cancer care, we'll help facilitate that. We'll get all of those worries. You'll have somebody who can help you get there, help you get through it.
Yeah. Chris is very hands-on. So I've hung out with him twice over here. And he is a guy that just loves what he does. He's got a passion for it. And he's been successful at many different endeavors throughout stages of his life. And he's a young guy. He's in his, 50s?
50.
50? Okay. So he's 50 years old himself. And here he is looking forward towards the future. And I asked him earlier, I said, once you get done with this, is that it? He goes, oh no, I got another one I'm going to do over there. So he's just go, 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 go. And so normally I don't kind of do these kind of videos where I'm promoting something or someone other than other YouTube channels, trying to help them. But this one, when he first told me about it back in January, 10 months ago, it really got my attention because it's something that I can use. And I can in the foreseeable future, I can see myself living here. Because I've walked the place, I've showed it to May, we've looked at the plans, I've looked at the pricing, and I can't mangle the math around to where it doesn't do anything but make sense. And then that's just living over here. So $700 a month in my head is cheaper than what I'm living on now. And you're throwing in breakfast.
Sure.
So, and the stuff that I pay for out of my pocket, laundry, maid service, this, that, the other. Obviously, I'm going to have expenses. But when I work it out, my fixed expenses here equal or a little bit more than what you're offering. And then it's with inflation going up and
Right.
up and up and up. I can only see this as being a value.
Well, look at the change in land prices since you've been here.
Brutal. Just brutal.
I mean, it's huge.
You couldn't do this if you hadn't started this 12 or 13 years ago.
No, I could not do this.
No.
And one more thing about the monthly expenses is you don't have $100 worth of aircon bill either up here. You'll have a small electrical charge. You know, that's just the way it is for having the electrical backup. The electric company is going to ding you for $10 or something. But the fact of the matter is you can run your air conditioners all day long with that solar power, and it's not going to cost you. Now, even here, if you run your air conditioner all day long, you're looking at $150 a month. You know, $150 a month in electricity.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I can attest to that. And so when I lived down in Dumaguete, I used to run $120 a month. Now I live up in the mountain and I don't run the aircon. So it was $40 or $50 last month. But still, you're below my $40 or $50 with $10, $15, $20 because of the solar power. Because the air conditioning is what takes the electricity.
Sure.
A light bulb, a
Yeah,
fan,
yeah.
It's nothing. It's Zippo. My next door neighbor does that and she pays $700 a month. Well, the $10 you're talking about. That's what she pays. All right, so we've got a lot of little nuances here where I think the money is a lot of bang for the buck. And I guess the best thing to do is to just steer people into the video if they're interested in it.
Yeah.
The one that will click in there.
Sure.
And then if they have any questions, we can hook up again. And
Yeah.
we can kind of review the way the comments come in or what kind of interest is piqued by this. And then we can fine tune it and do another video.
For sure.
Where we just simply address those questions, those issues, concerns, or compliments. We take those too on the channel. All right, crazy people. I'll see you next time.